The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People, based upon a real-life relationship, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon. Do read it. I'm sure you'll love it. It's www.miamosinzia.com and www.amazon.com/Mia
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the mikewagnershow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable, custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, check out the latest novel by well-known award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of No Time for Love, called Missing, an extraordinary relationship between two ordinary people based on real-life events that go through 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and the ones you love will be the first to go missing. Check out the book on Amazon and other retailers, available on all formats today. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the mikewagnershow.com and on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartradio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Amazon, Audible, and coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Also heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, and SoundCloud as well. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a terrific gentleman from Berkeley, California. He was born and raised there and pretty much lived there all his life. He's compared to the next John Mayer, and of course, he has a little bit of a connection and tell a story about it as well. He's got a new album called Never Knew the Night. We'll be playing a couple of his tracks during the show, and he's been singing since 5, and he's been singing for 22 years, and he also helped form a group before going solo, and he's also the youngest being endorsed by a company. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful Berkeley, California, ladies and gentlemen, the very, very talented singer-songwriter and multi-instrumental or multi-performing Simon Lunche. Simon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Mike. Thanks so much for having me, man. What an introduction. Thank you.
Well, it's great to have you on as well, too, since you're being called the next John Mayer, and you've been singing since 5, and you're from the Berkeley, California area, born, raised, and you still live there, which is amazing. You've been doing this for 22 years. You also head up a group called the Blondies, and you're also the youngest endorsed by Gibson Guitars at the age of 13. You also have a new album out called Never Knew the Night, and we'll be playing for you later on. Red Delicious and also Grace to wrap up the program. It's a pretty high charted song being played on all the major platforms. And before we get into all that, tell us how you first got started, Simon.
Oh, well, I first picked up a guitar when I was 5 years old, like you said, and I was sitting in the car one day on the way home from elementary school, and my parents always used to stop at the farmer's market, and I never wanted to get out, so I would stay in the car and listen to music. And one of those days, they put on Eric Clapton, and it was like a compilation CD, and I heard Eric Clapton play the guitar, and I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. And I think literally 2 days later, I had a guitar, like a cheap guitar, and I was learning to play. Did classical for a while, to get my roots, and then electric guitar was the thing. That was what I wanted, and eventually I got there, and I have not stopped since.
Wow, that's amazing. I guess they don't call you a slow hand for nothing here, or second slow hand. So, and what was that one moment that precisely influenced you into what you're doing besides being in a car, or what's that one precise moment that says, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life?
Well, I think as soon as I really picked up the guitar, listening to Clapton, really, that was the igniter that ignited the flame. But really picking it up, and I think from day one, it was just a way to express myself. And as soon as I realized that, really, I could just pick it up and try and write, and feel this such intense satisfaction from, letting something come out and really putting something from my mind onto an instrument was the moment I was hooked. It's like, it's still to this day, that feeling is what I live for, and such satisfaction of, which is honestly, it's almost indescribable, of taking something that's in my head, whether it be a feeling or a thought or whatever, and bringing it out through the guitar and with a voice. It's truly incomparable to anything else.
That has to be incomparable and amazing. Besides Eric Clapton, who are some of your other favorite singers, musicians, and guitarists growing up?
Well, I love the Beatles. That was a big one for me when I was younger. I would just religiously listen to their albums, but Bob Dylan to Van Morrison, and then as I grew, John Mayer really showed me that I could play, through listening to his stuff, that I could play electric guitar in a pop song and have that come through. So that was big. And also Jeff Buckley. I love Buckley. Vocally, he's just amazing, and he's a completely underrated guitar player. So I like to think I've taken little influences from all these people that I love and sort of put them together into my own thing.
Mm-hmm. And you're also connected to somewhat John Mayer as well, too, in one of your albums. And tell us more about who you're indirectly worked with, John Mayer.
Well, yeah, my most recent record, which just came out, like you said, Never Knew the Night. It was such a growing moment for me, because I went from being in a band to, recording basically a big solo project. And the first thing I really needed was, I was thinking, who's going to play bass and drums on this record? Because truthfully, so much of my music is guitar, bass, and drums, and I play guitar, so I needed a bass player and a drum player. And through really a stroke of, good connection and luck, I ended up meeting Dave Reitzes, who was really into one of the first demos that I sent him, and he's now my mixing engineer. And he, when it came time to get a bass player and a drummer, he goes, "Who's your favorite bass player?" And I told him Sean Hurley, and I'd heard Sean, with Mayer, with Idina Menzel, with a lot of people that I really loved. And I think literally 2 or 3 days after we had that conversation, Sean was walking through the doors at Westlake Studios, and we were making a few songs together, which was amazing. And now we're great friends, and Sean has brought Aaron Sterling and Tiffany Palmer to the sessions to do stuff, and they both are pretty well known for doing stuff with Mayer, and they're just amazing musicians. So sort of kind of just fell into that circle of players, and they're all just so fantastic that it's hard not to want to play with them.
Have you actually been approached by John Mayer, himself, since you're working directly with your bass player with John Mayer? Have you been approached by John Mayer?
I've never met him or spoke to him.
Wow. Okay. I think you probably should too. But then you also called the next John Mayer. So was it like a magazine writer or a newspaper writer, or by a majority of people, or you're being called that? And it's like it has to be amazing. So who basically just called you that first of all?
Honestly, I couldn't even tell you. You're probably the third or fourth person to say it. People have different takes, and I kind of like to just let them, think and feel and compare the way they want to compare. And I sort of don't get into it too far, because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to be myself. But, a lot of people have obviously seen me play guitar and especially live, because it's, I don't think there's that many people out there these days that have really been playing electric guitar in a pop context. And I think Mayer's the immediate sort of recognizable person who does that. So people see me play guitar and they'll make that comparison. But I think it depends on, what people are listening to, what song. But like I said, I don't, it's really nice. And I definitely am grateful, and it feels good to be recognized. But at the same time, I'm just trying to be myself and trying to be Simon and be the best Simon I can be.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we'll talk about your beginnings as well, too, before you go solo. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, check out the latest novel by well-known award-winning author Mia Motion Zia of No Time for Love, called Missing, an extraordinary relationship between two ordinary people based on real-life events that go through 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and the ones you love will be the first to go missing. Check out the book on Amazon and other retailers, available on all formats today. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com and on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Amazon, Audible, and more. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here, singer, songwriter, the multi-talented guitarist Simon Lunche here on the Mike Wagner Show from Berkeley, California. And you compared to or called the next John Mayer, but before that, you also head up a group called the Blondies, and tell us more about that. And it's not related to Debbie Harry, if you guys are wondering. That's to my audience, by the way, guys. So
yeah, the Blondies was a band that I was in for, honestly, probably a majority of my life, since I was like 10 years old to 18, and it was really, that group of guys was the way that I got so many of my songs initially out there, and the way we recorded them. It was I would usually bring a tune to the band, and from there we'd play it in my room for hours and hours, and then we ended up, as we got older, starting to record and starting to play shows, and it really grew into a pretty big thing and a really great start, which was amazing. And we ended up touring quite a bit, and we ended up making, I think, 4 studio albums.
Wow.
All of which were produced by me, and I was the lead singer and pretty much wrote all the songs too. So honestly, that's the Blondies was really just where I got my start in everything, because I was so young. Learned how to produce, learned how to play, learned how to be part of a group and play with other musicians. It was really great. And honestly, the real reason that it ended is because when I graduated high school, we all sort of, I knew I wasn't going to go to college. I was going to play music full time. I wanted to tour, and I was waiting for that moment. And a few of the other guys who were older were already in school. And when I graduated, they were taking time off so that we could tour. And what ended up happening, as does, is a few of them really wanted to finish school, and a few of us didn't. And especially me, really knowing what I wanted out of life, just needed the time to play music and to grow as an artist and to record and tour and all that stuff. And you just can't do that if you're in school full time. So then going back to school, I kind of realized, all right, it's time to probably start thinking of the next songs that I write as Simon songs and not Blondie songs. So it was a pretty seamless transition, and I'm still great friends with all those dudes, and I still play with them all the time, just not in the same context.
Oh, that's amazing. Where can we find the Blondies at?
I mean, iTunes, Spotify, Bandcamp, Amazon Music, everywhere. Those albums still deserve a listen for sure. So.
And, of course, you had another accolade as well, too. You're the youngest endorsed by Gibson Guitars at 13. And tell us more about that. It had to be a nice award there.
Yeah, that was definitely a really nice recognition. And it was very, very cool to be that young and to, be able to have a bunch of guitars at your disposal and, have people believe in you. And at that time, I was playing a Les Paul in the band literally 24/7. So it was perfect. It was perfect. And, and I think as I grew, and, becoming a lead guitar player solo, that fizzled out a bit. And I've been, I sort of graduated into my Stratocaster phase and love. But that was really great. And it was pretty heavily tied to the band. So, kind of fizzled out with the band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd love to play with the Strat right now, too. And let's talk about your album, Never Knew the Night. You also had previously released Red Delicious, Kiss Me, Learning to Love, and more. And tell us more about that album and some of the songs.
Yeah, I mean, it was the culmination of, I think, a little bit over 2 years of work, and not all of it in the studio, because like I said, the first many months I was really trying to figure out who am I as a solo artist, who am I as a lead guitar player, and who's going to make this album with me. And despite, me being the producer and the songwriter and all that stuff, I needed a great drummer and bass player, so I needed to make those connections. And it was really a growing experience the whole time. And then once we sort of finally started to make those demos, and some songs were demoed multiple times, and everything sort of slowly pieced together, and I had the right musicians, and it all clicked. It was just amazing. But it feels, honestly, like probably one of the biggest things I've ever accomplished was finishing that record, just because so much went into it, both musically and also growing as a person, as an artist, and meeting so many new people. It was just such a extraordinary experience, and such a long and difficult one too.
Mm-hmm. And we'll also play one of your tracks, Red Delicious, in just 1 minute. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs the below the competition way. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, check out the latest novel by well-known award-winning author Mia Motion-Zia of No Time for Love, called Missing, an extraordinary relationship between two ordinary people based on real-life events that go through 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and the ones you love be the first to go missing. Check out the book on Amazon and other retailers, available on all formats today. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 30 podcast platforms, including the mikewagnershow.com, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchorfm, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Amazon, Audible, and more. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here, singer, songwriter, guitarist, multi-talented Simon Lunche here on the Mike Wagner Show right now. From Never Knew the Night, here's Red Delicious from Simon Lunche right here on the Mike Wagner Show.
Tonight, love is in the air, but I'm not going anywhere. I've been stuck in this place since she left me here, but tonight I wanna find somebody to call mine. If I could sleep, I'd only dream of simple things, like dancing down the street with you, darling. Kiss me till it's hard to breathe. Let's be selfish in love like we're 17. And poison all my deepest dreams with your little red delicious. You make it seem so sweet. It's such a tease tonight. Love is running wild in the back room of this tap room where I've been staring for a while at the waitress with green eyes and the sweetness in her smile. But I'll never say a thing, I haven't done that in a while. No magic shade, booze drenched charade lets you run away when you're unsatisfied with what you have to offer. Kiss me till it's hard to breathe. Let's be selfish and love like we're 17. And poison all my deepest dreams with your little red delicious and make it seem so sweet. Oh baby please, it's such a tease. Make it seem so sweet, so sweet, so sweet. Oh yeah. Red Delicious from Simon Lunche on the Mike Wagner Show. I'm ready for Red Delicious. I think those apples, great song. It makes me feel like John Mayer. Tell us more about that song. What inspired you to write it?
Well, that was a song that came together over quite a while, and it was really just about, honestly, a lot of what I was experiencing making this record, which was a lot of late nights in the studio, a lot of time around no one else but myself, a lot of, kind of this loneliness, and that's really what the verses speak to, is that kind of loneliness, and then the choruses are sort of a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
But without ruining it for the listener and not letting them come up with their own meaning. It's really was inspired by loneliness making this album for me.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I every time I think of a Red Delicious, almost sounds like an apple. So, yeah, it's I like the way I put it, too. It's like, a John Mayer riff. It feels like I am listening to John Mayer. But, yes, it's like you did such a great job with that song. Amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of time went into it. Probably hundreds of hours.
Mm-hmm. And he also did a really nice follow-up, too, which is called Grace as well, too. We're going to play it at the end of the show. And tell us more about that song, Grace.
Grace is, I think, I want to say it was the first song that I had for this album, but it was either the first or second. And that was one that I had the pleasure of playing, when I first sort of was exploring who I was as a solo artist, playing it live in many different forms, both just with an acoustic guitar and then with a trio and with a whole band, and all that time exploring it live, when I finally got into the studio, made that song, I think, so much more special because it just had such an identity by that point in time. So yeah, that's great. It's pretty guitar heavy. I kind of went crazy with the electrics. It really influenced a lot of the way that I played guitar on the rest of the album. Definitely one of my favorites.
It sounds amazing as well too. You got a great future ahead, Simon. And where can we find your music at in your album Never Knew the Night at?
Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. I think let's see. Yeah, Tidal, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, all the good ones. You can find Never Knew the Night there. It just came out a few months ago, and if you've enjoyed these ones, then you'll definitely enjoy the record.
Definitely will, too. We're here with Simon Lunche, singer, songwriter, multi-talented guitarist on the Mike Wagner Show. And before we go here, we'd love to have you back with new material as well. You've been great. And what can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond, Simon?
2021, more music. I've had lots of time to stay in the studio with COVID going on. I thought this year was going to be about touring, and as we all know, that's all been postponed. So the good news is that's given me a lot of time to sit in front of Pro Tools and write more songs. So there's lots of music ahead.
And we're looking forward to it as well, too, Simon. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Oh, man, it's hard to pick one, but I think in some capacity, all those guys that I named, the Beatles, Berkley, Mayer, Van Morrison, Bob Dylan, I would say those are the guys.
And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point, Simon?
Oh, man, probably for another musician, just be yourself. There's a lot of influences out there, whether it be trying to make money or trying to appeal to a lot of people or all those things. And, I think that I've just found that people won't feel the music unless you do. So you got to stay true to what's in your heart and what's in your head and roll with that.
And that's very important as well, too. Once again, singer, songwriter, multi-talented guitarist Simon Lunche here on the Mike Wagner Show. Simon, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having him again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And lastly, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? And where can people purchase or listen to your music?
Website, www.simonlunche.com. You can find all my merch there, links to all my music. Again, Spotify, iTunes, those are the big ones that I know everyone uses. Everything's all up there just by typing in Simon Lunche. Got lots more stuff on the way. Be sure to join my email list if you want to do that through my website. And you can also find me on Instagram at Simon Lunche. That's lunch with an E and pronounced just like lunchtime.
Oh, yeah. And you're making me hungry for lunchtime as we speak. I guess people came up to you and said, let's do lunch. It takes on a different meaning here. So.
Oh, absolutely. What's funny is that you would think a lot more jokes would be made about my name. And funny enough, I got through most of grade school and high school without anything. People just accepted it, which is funny.
and of course, hit him head with the guitar, too, and make him sing for the lunch. So, yeah. Once again, Simon, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely great. Looking forward to it soon. And keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And don't forget to keep in touch, and let's do lunch.
All right. Thanks so much for having me.
A simple stare. I'm seeing Grace as she's standing there, dancing to my rhymes and melodies from more gentle times. Now I fear I'll be alone tonight, and I don't wanna be alone. 'Cause some nights I don't think that I know myself anymore. What do I love affair. Grace, my dear. Grace, my dear. Gracie, my dear, oh my dear. What do I want from this love affair? Can say they call her Grace 'cause she walks that way, but her gentle eyes, they look so out of place tonight, kinda like mine. Maybe I can be her friend tonight. Maybe I can be her friend. We won't have to sleep alone tonight. What a joy in this hard life. Grace, my dear. Grace, my dear. Oh, Gracie, my dear, oh my dear. What do I want from this love affair?
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based upon a real-life relationship, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon. Do read it. I'm sure you'll love it. It's www.miamosinzia.com and www.amazon.com/Mia Mohsin Zia.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.